and today I will be talking about cloud migration strategy and the process of migrating applications to the cloud. So my name is Miroslav Burnejko, and I'm a cloud solution architect. Mainly, my specialization is multi-cloud environment. So when a customer is using AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, that's the place for me. And also I'm focused lastly on migration projects. So I'm advisor and a part of migration team, doing also some dirty work with the cloud computing environment. And I'm helping companies, big companies, to migrate applications to the cloud. But what is the most important? To do the whole strategy, the whole process of doing the strategy. And at the end of this webinar, you will have everything I know about cloud migration strategy, including I will give you information how you can download two templates that I'm using when I work with my customers. So I hope it will be great time for you. So to start, I will switch to my presentation because today I have some slides, but please don't worry, they are not boring, they are quite fun. I will show you real stuff that I'm doing with my customers. So I'm at this moment after 3 cloud migration strategies projects, and I'm at this moment during one. I cannot do too much this type of projects because they are time consuming, but I'm doing almost all the time at least one project around cloud migration strategy. So I'm switching at this moment to my screen. And I'm using 2.0 because from my first cloud migration strategy project, there were some changes in the process and in the documents. But today I want to share with you some information. And if you are thinking about using cloud in your organization, this information will help you a lot. So first thing, why cloud migration strategy is important. Second thing, what is the best step to start your cloud migration in your company? What's the second best step? And this one, first step and second step are not connected with cloud migration strategy, but they are really important with the whole process. Then we are look at the bigger picture about cloud migration strategy, and as a next step, we'll focus about choosing the right application and which applications should be first, second, third, etc., and how to choose these applications to migrate to the cloud, and how to show the management to the board that we are doing a good job. And what other information do we need? Because we need a lot of information during this process. And of course, what tools we should use to the migration. So why cloud migration strategy is important? So it's important because let's look at our organization. Okay, so if you are in an organization that has, like, let's say 50, 100, 10,000 of employees, you have some kind of web portals, you have some test and development environment with your development team, you have backup and archive, emailing, office tools, HR, ERP, CRM, finance, business intelligence, business line application 1, business line application 2, etc., etc., etc. A ton of applications that cost a lot of money probably in your organization. And at this moment, they are in the local data center. So we have this name like called a local data center or on-premises environment. We have this public cloud environment, and we have some type of hybrid. So, part of your application is in local data center and part is on public cloud. But before cloud migration, every single application is in your local data center. So many people and also many cloud providers think that to do cloud migration strategy, you should simply move everything from your local data center to public cloud. And if you are doing this type of projects, you know that there are some applications that are not possible to move to the public cloud simply, or it can be non-cost effective and it can be hard. So some applications should be used in a hybrid environment. So, for example, we have a part of backend services in your local data center and part of a system in public cloud. We have some systems only in public cloud, so test development is good for that, email, office tools, etc. But sometimes our legacy business line applications are not able we are not able to move this application to the public cloud, so we are waiting to some kind of miracle or some kind of big crash or new people that will help us with this rewriting this application or choosing another solution. But this is the real story. Some applications are good for public cloud, some are good for hybrid environment, so some are good for local data center. And the biggest question is how to find a way to move to this process from this state to this state. So the first question is, what's the best step to start a cloud migration? So if you don't know, I will let you guess, but no, I want you. So the best step to start a cloud migration strategy and to start cloud migration in general is, first step is the best one, is to be familiar with the cloud. So what do I mean by that? Is to have a small team in your organization, or simply after working hours or on some kind of workshops, start using cloud. So it's really good to understand what the cloud is and have a little bit of knowledge. I'm not talking about a big knowledge, and we will move to that in a few seconds, but have a little bit of knowledge about what is Azure, what you can do there, what is Amazon Web Services, what is Google Cloud Platform. And I'm not talking about understanding 3 of them. I'm talking about understanding at least one, because you will find a lot of similarities between these cloud platforms. So what's the second best step? And we are not on the cloud migration strategy process. We are talking about preparation. So when you are playing chess first time, you have the situation that you have pawns, you have kings, you have bishops, knights, rooks, etc. And when you see this type of board for the first time in your life, you don't know how does it work. And even if you know how pawn works and how the king works, you don't know anything about tactics, about castling, about center control, etc., etc. And if you want to become a good player in meaning of cloud migration is a player that can migrate stuff to the cloud, you should understand a lot of things that are around cloud computing. And I'm not talking about, starting virtual machine and I'm a cloud computing expert. No. I'm talking about a lot of aspects around cloud computing. So what I'm recommending everyone before starting this type of project, learn. So you have some clicking experience with, let's say, Amazon services, and now it's good to start with real learning. So what I'm talking about, so start with official resources from cloud providers. So you can use standard trainings, like in a big city, the Amazon Web Services or Microsoft Azure are doing this type of workshops for you. You can use online resources, so Cloud Academy, Pluralsight, Cloud Guru, CPT Nuggets are really good resources. Then you can learn what are availability zones, about payment, about resource groups, etc., etc. But also what is quite important, and I'm seeing the best results, and best results means that after 1 year or 2 years, we see big improvement in the organization about how the organization works. So cloud products are implemented and the business is working better. So it's really good at the start to do workshops and training with your cloud migration partner. So it's really good to have a mentor, and it's hard to become a chess grandmaster without a great coach. So every single great chess player had some kind of coaches that helped him to understand basic strategies and what is really important. But if you don't have resources and if you don't have a budget for that, you can really use online resources for that. So please have some time and learn about cloud migration, about cloud solutions like from Cloud Academy, Pluralsight, etc., etc. And what I'm really recommending to learn is first cloud services. It's really good to understand that there are not only virtual machines in the cloud. So there are a lot of web services that are available for you. So learn what is Azure App Service, RDS, Google Cloud App Engine, and learn about these services. So AWS has like 80 services, Azure has 60 something, and you should at least understand what these services are doing. It's really good to have some kind of experience with every single one, but it's really hard. So I'm recommending everyone to understand these services. Second thing, cloud architecture. So you must understand what are regions, availability zones, availability groups, connection, how to connect one cloud with other cloud, how to connect cloud with your data center, and what type of shared security models we have in one cloud, second cloud, etc. Third thing is cloud patterns. So how to build an application in the cloud. If you have if you have development teams, you should be familiar with this type of topics. So, for example, how to use queuing service to decouple the application. So to have one application here, some queuing service in the middle, and other application in backend. Learn something about microservices, etc. Limits. So why and how they are important. So every single cloud has a limit, so you can use so many resources. So it's really good to understand why there are limits and how big are they for different clouds. SLA, or in other words, service level agreements. So what is service level agreement and why you cannot trust your providers? It's a long topic for another discussion, but you should understand that what is happening with your contract when, for example, one availability zone in AWS is down. Another thing is pricing. So you should understand how pricing works. There is no other option. You need to understand what is reserved instances, how to calculate how much you will pay for storage, for databases, etc., etc. And ecosystem. So about SDKs, tools, management, continuous integration, continuous delivery. It's really good to understand how does it work in the cloud. And what is quite important, platform as a service is almost always better choice for your application, but you need to know and understand platform as a service. So without understanding cloud services, and if you have knowledge about only virtual machines, you will be trying to use virtual machines in the cloud. But if you have knowledge about platform as a service services, so you will be able to use these services, but knowledge is extremely important. And now, when we on this stage that we know how cloud works and we know how to use that, we can look at the big picture about cloud migration strategy, and I will show you everything you need to know how to migrate to the cloud. But first, I will want to show you that cloud migration process is not only about migrating data, migrating virtual machines, and migrating storage. No, it's a really long process that requires a lot of people, a lot of skills in different areas. But what is quite important, I did this, list of things you should be aware of. And we have different workshops for that, but please forget about it at this moment. So first thing, assessment. So cloud readiness, success criteria. So what do I mean by that? You should be familiar why you want to migrate to the cloud, and it's really good to have the whole understand that. It's really good to have the same level of understanding on different levels in your organization. Demands and limitation, cost assessment for your application and infrastructure in your organization. Existing gaps, so maybe we don't have virtualization, or we are using some type of different hardware for our application. So we need to have this information. Then we have the whole planning phase. So we should choose the right candidates for our migration. And it's quite an important topic. Then we should do assessment for these candidates. We should do migration path, choose the right provider. And it's really good to focus on choosing the right provider after we have information which application we should migrate to the cloud, because it's really easy to, at this moment, to choose. You should plan a hybrid model. You should provide staff development, so how you will train people, how you train leaders in your organization around cloud solutions. Processes, so what we should change in our organization to be ready to migrate to the cloud. Finances, cost, and processing, and what's really important, procurement departments are really bad heroes of cloud migrations, and they sometimes don't know how to process costs from cloud deployments when we have, each month different invoice. So it's really good to have plan for that and have, support from your finance departments. And we should, of course, plan deployment, operation, security, cutover, and some kind of pilot to migrate our first application to the cloud. And during the whole migration, we should focus on distribution, so how the application will be distributed and what mechanism we are using for that, and security during migration. And of course, we should migrate virtual machines, application, and data. And after that, the most important topic after that is to check reachability, availability, and confirm that several levels agreement that we have with business departments is available, and we finished our cloud migration with success. But it's only a really big picture, and so let's focus on some data. So during the cloud migration strategy, we should choose application, and we should, for each application, choose options and artifacts. And what do I mean by that? Is to options what we are going to do with our application. So when we have in our organization like 20 applications or 100 applications on 2,000 applications, we should go through every single application and decide if we are going to retire this application, replace this application, for example, with some software as a service solution, retain this application, so it will be the same, rehost, so we take data from virtual machine with the operating system, and we are going to move to the cloud, and re-envision. So maybe it's time to focus on some platform as a service solution, function as a service solution, and move to different layers of cloud solutions. And artifacts, it's during the strategy. So if we have like 100 applications, we want to have a roadmap for the whole migration. So we should find with this application, is that application is good to move to the cloud, and it's really easy, so it will be quick win. So if our application is not that easy to migrate, but it will be really beneficial for your organization, it's a really good candidate for start here. Harder application or more advanced, it will be with this mark of long-term bets. And of course, some applications won't be moved to the cloud in the whole process. So area is to lower cost of our data center. Maybe that is not connected with any other APIs in our company, with our other web services, with other databases. We have one, and when we have done to have at least 10 of these type of points, and we are using different from different projects, and have really scale from 1 to 5. And during this process, you will learn what I'm saying. So we have two applications, and as you can see, there are both internal application, there's a business owner, but a cost of application for first application is $900, and for the second is $15,000. So at this moment, we see that we must pay almost 1 million for the first application. And now let's look on data. So during the process, we are sitting with business owners and we are discussing, hey, is data critical? So what will happen when we lose the data? And if we have some kind of maybe backup system with some kind of old data, or we have some logging system, or we have some application service that are using different data from other database. So data isn't as critical, but if we have the main data, which is the heart of our company, so it will be 5. So we can see that for the second application we have 5 for critical data. Business value, so our business owners decided to put 1 and 3 here, platform 2 and 4, and complexity 1 and 5, and type of migration and result. So if you are looking on this type of data, you can see that there are no critical data, there is small business value, there is standard platform, and there is no complexity, and it's a really expensive application. So it's a really good example to migrate to the cloud. But if you have really not expensive application with critical data, big business value, complex platform, and a lot of complexity, maybe it's a not good application to move to the cloud as a first step. So at this moment, it's really important to don't think about result, focus on data. So you should have a list of other applications and have this data. And I promise you, I promise you, during the process, you will find some kind of connections, and you will know which applications should be migrated to the cloud first and which second. But you need this type of data, and many companies don't have this type of data. So note 2, more applications, better model. So during the process, you will find some kind of connections. So you will learn that if we have a platform below 2, then we should do this. If we have complexity above 4, we should do this. And if more application, you will find that these connections are quite similar to similar models of applications, and even if you have different business owners. And also cloud migration model is different in each company. There is no single company that is using the same information in the same column. So some companies are using critical data, some customers are using business value, but it's quite important to first day of your workshop to find this type of information that you want to measure to decide which application you should move to the cloud. And during the process, at the end of the process, you have information that, okay, this application we should re-envision because it uses a lot of virtual machines, and we don't need these virtual machines. Maybe we should try with some kind of platform as a service solution or function as a service solution. And it's a really good example to start here, result. And for the second application, we should retain or rehost. So maybe we should have this application still with our data center. And the second option is to rehost. There is a possibility to migrate that to another virtual machine, and its result is pursue later. So it will be moved to the cloud after all other applications. And what other information do we need? It depends. It depends. Important. We should choose success criteria. So I started with this information, but first day, before you start doing this type of collecting this type of data, you should first focus why we are going to move to the cloud. Because so many companies are doing migration without success criteria, and then after migration they're talking okay, so what now? We don't see anything. But you need to first specify your success criteria. So what I'm really recommending to choose one, maximum two of success criteria. So one of these can be cost, and it's the most common. So CapEx. So for example, we want to have 50% of savings over the next 2 years. Another really common is OpEx. So we want to lower, for example, application to staff ratio 2 times. So to have less people on the payroll compared to number of applications. Hardware procurement efficiency. So time to provision 100 machines, let's have 10,000%. It's not too common, but I saw that type of success criteria one time. Time to market, reliability, availability. Availability is quite common, so let's have 20% better availability of the application. And it's really easy to measure because many companies are measuring this type of information today. Flexibility, developer can choose any stack for to deploying .NET application, Java application, Go application, etc. And new opportunities, so 50% more yes to new business projects. And let's focus on the most important cost. So we must measure first to check if the success criteria were met. So what do I mean by that? If we don't have information how much our application costs at this moment, we cannot prove that we did our job. So first, we need to have information about our actual CapEx per application to have savings. And of course, we have 2 options for that. So first option is different for all-in strategy. So if we have all-in strategy, so our goal is to migrate all applications and then provide a proof that our CapEx is better, then we should need to collect different data. And if we are going to use not all-in strategy, so we 100% sure that we are going to migrate some application to the cloud, but we still need to have some application in our data center, then we need to focus on cost for every single application. For the first point, for all-in strategy, we can have information about the whole cost of our IT, of whole cost of our data center, of all our applications. And it's easier, but if we are going to not all-in strategy, then we should have cost per each application, what is really hard to achieve in many organizations. And if we are choosing the first option, so all-in, so we have information about our applications, we know everything, which application we should migrate first, etc., etc. We should also have this type of information. So what is the cost of our infrastructure? So how much we are paying for racks, fiber channel equipments, rack collocation, blah, blah, blah. Then server. So we should have information how many servers we have, how much we are paying for every single element of these servers, including power, etc. Physical host also is important to calculate and have information about maintenance, and additionally some kind of information about virtualization environment, shared storage, backup. Also, you can add here information about application cost, people cost, but it's really important that at this is information from one of my projects. So as you can see, in some rows we have $0, and why we have here $0? Because a customer decided to put here 0 because they decided that we have this server, we don't paying anything for that, amortization is over, the amortization period is over, so there is no cost for server, even if we have server for that. but it's really important to build this type of sheet to have information that for whole our data center every single year we are paying this type of money, and after the whole cloud migration we will be paying this type of money. And it's really important that there is no one fit all strategy. There is no. Every single data center, every single company is different people, different culture, different tools, etc., etc. So it's really important to have this cloud migration strategy done from beginning to the end, and not focusing on some kind of articles or presentations from people who did that, but you should do cloud migration strategy by yourself for your organization, and have this strategy accepted by your board of directors or other type of entities in the organization, and then you can easily move to the cloud. But another thing after that, if we have the whole migration, and we should also choose tools, and I don't like talking about that in this type of webinars, because tools are really easy to use at this moment. So we have a lot of tools for example, rehosting. We have DoubleTake, Rosemi, Zerto, Cloud Endure, River Meadow. We have Azure Site Recovery, AWS Service Migration Service. So every single company on the planet has some type of software service tool that will help you to migrate your virtual machines to the cloud. And also for databases, there are a lot of services. So even AWS has AWS Database Migration Service. Microsoft a few weeks ago announced that they are going to release some kind of service to migrate databases to the cloud. There are also some well-known resources like Windows Server Failover Cluster, Log Shipping, ActiveGuard for Oracle, MySQL Replicate, and a lot of tools. I'm really big fan of Informatica, but you can use a lot of tools, and it's really easy to start your cloud migration from this level. So I see that in a lot of projects. So there are people from like Cloud Endure or other company that can tell you that just simply install and use. But without cloud strategy and without big picture about how to pay for that, what applications should be migrated first, etc., these applications are not important at all. So you should first have process and strategy, and then after that you should think about tools. And what is the next step? So next step are really simple. I have a copy, and I'm not sharing that anything in any other place. So cloud migration strategy checklist. It's an easy document, and it's not secret, but the cloud migration inventory template, and I will send that to you. So simply to receive that, email us, and this is my email, Embroneko sorry for my language, Embroneko at bluesoft.pl, title Cloud Migration Strategy. And I will send you this cloud migration inventory template. I don't want to put that in the internet. It's really good stuff. So please, if you want to receive that, just simply send me an email. And additionally, if you want to order free consultation for cloud migration strategy, simply email also to Embroneko at bluesoft.net.pl, and we are working on projects in different countries, different continents. It's really good to have an experienced partner that will help you with the whole cloud migration strategy. And Bluesoft has at this moment 450 experienced people that work there, and also I'm helping them with the cloud migration strategy project. So you can simply email to Embroneko at bluesoft.net.pl with one of with title of cloud migration strategy, or to simply, hello, can you help us with the cloud migration strategy? And we will help you for free at the beginning to show you that we can provide you value. If we cannot provide you value, you just simply move to other direction, to other partners, etc. So it's really good to start with us, and I highly recommend to do that. So what is really important cloud migration strategy is the most important topic in your company. And it's really good to first play with some cloud providers and learn about how cloud works, and use some kind of online trainings or mentors or coaches or everything what is available to understand how does cloud work. And it's really good to understand not only information about services but also about security, service level agreement, pricing, etc., to have some kind of idea what is our success criteria and why we are going to migrate to the cloud. What is benefit to our company, to our business, to our business partners, to our customers? Why cloud migration is really good for them. Next, please remember that cloud migration is not only about servers, data, and application. It's about the whole process, about procurement, about stuff, about learning, about validating, a lot of things that you should consider in your cloud migration strategy document. Use data. So you have this data in your organization, you have information about your applications, about costs, probably. Maybe you don't know about that yet, but you have all this information in your company. The only thing you should take this data, put that in good columns, and try to find connections. And after that, it will be easier to choose which application should be moved first to the cloud and which should be moved second. Set success criteria and use more data. So if you have your success criteria about costs, let's use data about pricing for your actual application. If you have your success criteria about availability, let's find information about availability of all your applications during the 1 year period. You have tons of tools to migrate your apps to the cloud. And please remember that build a strategy. You can build your strategy for yourself. It's not that easy, but it's possible if you have the right knowledge. Or you can easily work with us. Just simply email us, and we can connect and discuss our cooperation. So I'm switching to my camera, and I don't see too much question at this moment, what is quite interesting. So if I don't see any question, I will put this video online, and also I will send this recording to every single one of you who was registered to this video. And please remember, if you have any question, you can email me. My email was on a few slides a few minutes ago. So simply email me at embroneko@bluesoft.com.pl. And thank you extremely for your time, and have a great evening or morning wherever you are. And I wish you good cloud migration to the cloud.